I've been living with this feeling for a while. If death is coming, I'ma greet
So
him
live
with
it up, nigga, we gon' live it up. So can't get enough, ain't no bottom to my cup, no. Just split it up, you know how I like my blunts, bro. If I'ma go tonight, then I'ma do it right. So live it up, nigga, we gon' live it up. So can't get enough, ain't no bottom to my cup, no. Just split it up, you know how I like my blunts, bro. If I'ma go tonight, then I'ma do it right, yeah.
I woke up and the city was on fire. You could see the pandemonium for miles. I've been living with this feeling for a while. If death is coming, I'ma greet him with his. I've been living like push the pedal to the metal till I see the flag blowing chunks out the ozone while I burn the gas crackers on my ass. Think I'm finna crash. I ain't worried till I hit the curb. Vision blurs, learn every word. Coupe in is filled with different flavors. They just wanna live something I could give life in the 16. Painting pictures like the 16. Even now I'm on my back stand at the ceiling wondering what this shit mean. I don't wanted this my whole life. Now I'm here feeling so right. Getting faded in the strobe lights. Nigga, I could do this all night. Show me life, show me love, show me something real, show me something brand new. Take your time, ain't no rush. I just wanna feel everything you've been through. We ain't leaving till they shut it down. So take advantage when it come around. Doing damage every time we out. They gon' remember me without a doubt.
Nigga, we gon' live it up, so can't get enough, ain't no bottom to my cup, no. Just split it up, you know how I like my blunts, bro. If I'ma go tonight, then I'ma do it right. So live it up, nigga, we gon' live it up, so can't get enough, ain't no bottom to my cup, no. Just split it up, you know how I like my blunts, bro. If I'ma go tonight, then I'ma do it right, yeah.
I woke up and the city was on fire. You could see the pandemonium.
Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to the Uninformed Fan. Yes, I told you I was going live, Jeffrey. Get your shit together. What a beautiful Monday it's been. What an action-packed weekend that we had in sports. We're here to break it all down for you on this beautiful Monday. 4th of July upon us. Half of the year is over. We're here to celebrate. We're here to remember. Jeffrey, how are we doing today on this Monday, July 3rd?
I'm doing great. I had a great weekend. How was your weekend?
I can't complain. I can't complain.
You do anything or?
No, absolutely not. None of my friends were doing anything this weekend, so I just kind of chilled. You know, this was the first weekend I actually had a little bit of an itch to get out and socialize with the world.
I started.
But I chose.
Go ahead.
But I chose not to.
I started rewatching Billions.
Yeah, you said that on the last episode. I was.
Yeah, I'm all the way in again.
All the way in. Jeff
I
is.
just think the writing is so good, dude. It's so good. It's really, really nice.
Well, you mentioned the COVID one or whatever, and how they kind of have you gone through the COVID episode yet?
Yeah.
That was trash. That whole thing was trash. Wasn't some of them in like No, that was the Blacklist. The Blacklist.
Yeah, that was Blacklist.
The Blacklist that did like cartoons. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, you know, the narrative around the whole COVID thing, it was very, very prevalent in Billions as well, as far as the COVID vaccines, the mask, and yeah, oh yeah. You didn't see the narrative there?
Narrative?
Yeah, they were talking about the COVID vaccines on the actual show.
Yeah, of course. What, are you like supposed to ignore that as like it was an actual historical event that happened that was a global pandemic that we all went through? They're just supposed to act like it didn't happen.
I didn't go through it. I didn't go through it.
You didn't. When you say you didn't go through it?
Nope, didn't go through it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, they're completely like. Listen, I have no problem with the way they handled it. They acknowledged everything about it. You see everybody wearing masks. You see some people who are in more prevalent positions not having to wear masks. You know, the underlings having to. So yeah, I mean, they were spot on with.
I was definitely thinking of Blacklist when I was talking about that earlier. The God, dude, that was so bad. I think we actually turned it off. Happy 4th, Mr. Justice.
What up, Justice? What's going on, bro?
Just a reminder that the Denver Nuggets stopped your Miami Heat. Just want to make sure you're still aware of that.
Bro. I know we're gonna get into it. We'll get into some NBA in a little bit. No, but the other stuff that happened this weekend.
Hey, your mic. Hold on. Before you get going, your mic is going absolutely nuts right there. I don't know if you're kind of moving it around on the table or.
I was trying to move it closer to me because I didn't think that it was close enough.
We got you loud and clear, big boy. Loud and clear.
I think you have a very sensitive headset as well too. So
Right, and what I hear
kinda
goes through
like
the
my wife.
channels and out into the world.
It's like any little thing that I do, like you're very reactive to, no matter what
Actually,
happens.
Jeremy, are you available? Can you come in here for real quick, Jeremy?
Why do you want to bring him in?
Because once again, I need to bring in the 3-time to show you how wrong you are.
I'm here.
Jeremy, we've talked about this before. When he messes with his microphone or hits the table, does it not come through with serious vibrations?
I can hear it. I don't think it's as serious as you think it is, but you can hear the table being hit. Yes. Him moving his microphone. I heard that moving.
The most political.
Yeah, dude, this is in direct response to the altercation that you two had. Jeremy, none of that shit comes into this room, bro. All right, we're here. We're facts only. I don't care what happened outside of work. We're facts only in here. And the facts are, it's very
hear the thumping, yes.
Boombastic. So yes. But anyway, as you were, go ahead. Please continue.
I completely lost my train of thought.
You were talking about justice, and you said that we're going to get into it, and then that's when I rudely cut you off because my eardrums were busting.
Listen, the weekend was great for me too. I got to binge some Blacklist. Actually had a terrible night at work, but that's neither here nor there. I got to see my good friend Joe Corbelli, who's in town as well too. Spent some quality time with him and Avery, his daughter, as well. Kind of hung out at the Ritz pool yesterday for a little while with them. Kids had a good time, and then came back home, had a little food, watched some more Blacklist, and I fell asleep early. I've been up a while today already.
Watching some Blacklist, huh?
I mean, see, this is what you do. This is what you do, bro.
Did I ever tell you that you'd be a great judge? I think you'd be a great judge.
Why is that?
I just think you'd be a great judge. Sitting up on that chair, get your little robe. I might get you. If I get you a robe, will you wear it for the show?
Maybe.
And then maybe I get you a gavel too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would have to be presiding over arguments between you and somebody else.
You could just beat the gavel against the desk instead of beating your hands against the desk. I mean,
I could. Anything to agitate you, I feel like, would be a great way to go.
I think that you're doing pretty well. I think you're doing pretty.
And other note, I forgot to tell you this. So we were out. We're out on Friday. We're getting a early round in. Way too early. 7:30 a.m. is a tough one. But I get a phone call from my wife. She went to the doctor, and if you know anything that we've been going through, the baby basically has been breached this entire pregnancy, hasn't turned around. She's gonna have to have her first C-section out of the 3 kids, and so on and so forth. But we're lucky enough that the baby actually flipped, and so the baby is now head down. We're not gonna have a C-section. Gonna come out naturally. Everything's good to go. God is good. Amazing stuff. So. But there was like a 1 in 8 chance that was going to happen. So we're very, very happy. Very happy. Yes.
I hope you immediately placed a bet after learning that news. Because obviously you have a lucky streak right there.
It's funny too because now it's like now the realization kind of came that I'm on the clock. Now the baby.
Are you really though? Are you on the clock?
Well, yeah. Her water could break at any minute. We could be in the middle of the show and the water could break.
Would you finish the show?
Well, I feel like the proper thing to do would be to hop on Discord on my phone and just, we'll just live stream everything of us rushing to the hospital. And then once they tell me, sir, you need to put that away,
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Marcus, good morning, good sir. How are we doing out there, Mr. Buffington?
Buff as well. So I got to say this, man.
No, we're not shouting out Buff this week. Not this week.
Yes, we are.
Not this week. No, we're not.
Tell you something.
We are not. You can.
I show up to Boathouse. I sit down. We sit down. I'm with my kids, and Buff comes directly over. Already, he's got their kids' drinks lined up. He's bringing them Boathouse, 4th of July hats, which they love. They wouldn't take off the whole time. Just, bringing a duck over for Gianna. To make her nice and happy as well. Shout out Buff, bro.
That I'll give you a shout on. Anything inside of work, yeah, Buff, you the man, bro.
Make my kids happy. Now, I will say this: we are a little salty, and I know one of the reasons that you're tuning in right now is because you did give us a I don't want to say a beating. You beat us You know,
He didn't.
we had some unfortunate instances that occurred on our fantasy baseball team this week, but congratulations nonetheless for you winning, even if it was by 13 points. And you know, we had some unfortunate pitching situations happen, and you know, it's fantasy,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah. Congrats.
Anything?
Good job.
Anything you want to expound on that, Tyson?
No, I don't. Buff is a superstar at work. I will give him that. It's an absolute superstar. Love sitting with him. We would have sat with you all the time, Buff, but Jeff kind of gave us, the woe was me anytime I didn't sit in his section. So yeah, otherwise we would have been with you every single time, 100%. You are the epitome of your profession. Nothing but excellence. Just great stuff. Great stuff.
You just piss greatness. Wake up in the morning, you piss greatness.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Shout out.
So speaking of the Major League Baseball, we're coming up on the All-Star break here. We touched a little bit on some of the disappointments that were happening throughout the season. And, to our point as well, Jeff, I don't know if you know this, but did you see who we're playing this week?
No, who we got?
Who do you think? Look at my face. Who do you think?
We got Mark.
No.
We got TJ.
Mm-hmm.
What?
We must win at all costs this week. I will drop every single pitcher I have to.
Good luck is all I gotta say.
I will drop every single pitcher. I will pick every single player up that I have to.
Man.
We are winning this week. Watch the waiver wire. Buff will be snaking all the people I drop. But we are at the All-Star break. We have some good stuff coming up here. When is the actual All-Star break? I do believe it's
Home Run Derby is July 10th, and the reason that I know
July 10th, so we still have another week.
Yeah, that's when Amanda's C-section was scheduled for, and when we had Noah, the first night that we had Noah, we sat there, and he sat there up with me, and he didn't know what was going on. This is his first night alive as a human, but we watched the All-Star game together. It would be 10 years ago, coming up on the 16th, and so it's always around this time, and I looked ahead and I said, oh, the Home Run Derby's on the 10th, the day that we're supposed to give birth as well. I'm like, that'll be cool to kind of.
Can I also comment that the desk behind you looks really good today? Quite structurally organized, very clean. Very kudos to the house coming together over there.
So this is a temporary situation. I'm waiting. I have a desk that's set up right now. When you come drop the smoker off, I'll show you all about it. Shout out to Ian, by the way. I appreciate you just never pulling the trigger on anything that you're supposed to.
Yes, Ian. And I know that you're probably not even going to listen to this anyway. But yeah, your birthday present is being delivered to your friend's house because you refuse to get it.
And it's chilling here.
Do you know how many times Bianca just wanted to sell it? She's like, I'm selling this thing. I'm getting rid. I'm like, no, don't. No. Why are you giving it to him? He's never going to get it. He's never going to. I thought he was coming to get it last week. I thought he was coming to get it this week. Why is it still here? Oh, yeah, dude. Every day I walk past it, and I'm like, this.
I'm already thinking about like smoked picanha and like some Brazilian sausage and like some stuff that
you might as well just keep it, dude. I mean, you might. Yeah, I got a bag of wood chips in there for you as well.
By the time the pool goes into, it's gonna be.
Yeah, so we got another week of baseball here, so we're gonna really dig into that a little bit more towards the end of the week. And as we get closer to the Home Run Derby. But obviously, we're going to talk about some of the amazing things that are happening out there. Acuna Jr., we're going to talk a little bit about Ohtani. We're going to break that down a little bit more. On the other spectrum of it, we did have what was quite the debacle as far as television coverage in the Rocket Mortgage tournament this week, which Rickie Fowler finally got his shit together. It only took me talking shit about him. I talked shit about Checo, and he turned it. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I just need to talk shit about everybody. But Rickie finally...
Your comments change the universe.
I tell you, I think that, I have a profound effect on everything that happens around me. Buff will come get it. Not that kind of smoker, bro. It's not a hot box. But Rickie finally get it done. I guess you could say that this is his home tournament since he is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. But what a wonderful thing to see. The boys once again putting out some serious picks. Collin Morikawa, which we broke down. If you listened to the show on Wednesday, I really drilled on Chad a little bit about Collin Morikawa and his reasons for why he was going to play so well, considering he hadn't played very well in this tournament before. 100% spot on. What a tournament. The fact that he also called out that it could be a three-way playoff in the group chat with him and just Paul, that was quite a little pluck there. I wonder if there could have been any odds on that. Will the tournament go to a playoff?
You know, it was one of those weeks where, and I think the Morikawa thing was the U.S. Open actually, but I don't want to take that away from them because I know they did have Rickie. The reason I know they had Rickie is because in our golf group, everybody had Rickie.
Yeah, we all did.
Literally.
Well, it was it was a shit field. Let's be honest.
No, it was, but I had Rickie, and I had a winner, right, which gives you like 1 point something million points for the winner, and I came in last place in our group.
Did I get you? Did I sneak by you?
I came in last. The only people who I beat were the people who didn't put in. I'm like it's pretty incredible because that never happens. Usually, as long as you have the winner, you're in like the top 1, 2, or 3 guaranteed. And to come in last, I'm just like, what's going on? But anyway, shout out to Rickie and this putter, right? Isn't it crazy? This
no, you were ninth. You beat champs.
Oh, I beat Chad.
Yeah, and I squeaked you out by 50K.
Go figure. Go figure. Yeah, anyway, the boys gave out Rickie on Wednesday as one of their top picks as well. We talked about his mental headspace. We talked about him not really being shook by the Open, it seemed like, and his comments and just the confidence that he had coming in and perspective that he has on life. And that moment was really, really cool. But what I mentioned before, did you see, this putter that they're all using now?
Yes.
How many tournaments in a row is this? I know I saw you guys talking about it a little bit. I didn't chime in, but I saw the conversation. What's the justification behind it? This Odyssey putter?
Who was it that won the Wyndham Clark? I guess played with Rickie and really
exact same specs.
Yeah, liked his putter and he spec'd it out exactly like his, and then he went and won the next week. And then Rickie won, and then the boys were saying that somebody on the European tour also picked it up and won on the European tour as well. So the Mallet Odyssey is probably having some record sales at Golf Galaxy and the PGA Store at the moment.
They were talking about that specific putter, and I thought I don't know if somebody was like speculating, but somebody said that putter is probably about to go to about $5,000 online.
I think Odyssey. Well, yeah, if it was the actual putter, but I think Odyssey, as long as it's still in production, are probably just happy to get the the recognition here and get it out there, because I think for the longest time it was all about Scotty Cameron's, right? I mean, Odyssey had their run 10, 15 years ago.
No, longer than that. I mean, I got my Odyssey White Hot putter.
Whoa, I still use it. Whoa.
No, I still use mine, but I've had mine since 8th grade. So you're talking.
Oh, I definitely haven't had that long.
You're talking. That's what 8th grade would be. 14 years old.
83.
Huh?
83.
99.
Close.
So I've had mine since 99. So we're talking 24 years.
So 99, you were in what grade?
I was in 8th grade. Why?
Just wonder. Just trying to put some relative time frames together.
What year did you graduate?
Try to match up the universe here a little bit.
What year
but
did
yes,
you
graduate? what a great tournament by Rickie Fowler. Yeah. As we said, I did put it out in the universe that once again Rickie was going to have his struggle Sundays and give it up, and it sure looked like he did. Couldn't birdie the par 5, hit a couple bad shots. Then was it 18 where he pushed the drive also way right? No, that was the playoff hole. 18 he had hit his tee shot left into the rough and then stuck one about 4 feet to force the playoff hole in 18. Yeah. Then on the first playoff hole he shoves it way right. Everyone else is sitting dead red in the middle of the fairway. He sticks it to about 6 feet again and makes the putt and wins. So congratulations to Rickie. I do believe that was only his 6th win in the PGA Tour, which just kind of shows a little bit how tough it is to win. But I would have to think if he did not win this tournament, the way that he's been playing with this field, I think that would have been a kick in the balls a little bit. So the fact that he's got it, I do believe that we said on the group chat, looks like Rickie will be taking some time off for a while. Well deserved. I think he will be taking some time off for a while. He's got everything intact now with this win. He can sit back and relax a little bit.
I think. Yeah, obviously he's going to enjoy life a little bit, but I think he's been playing great golf and
been playing great golf.
I can still see him. The Open is one of those courses where irons and putting always mean a lot as well too. Driving. Yes and no. I feel like, I guess, depending on the course. which I'm sure we'll dive into that with the boys as well too, coming up in a couple of weeks. But I feel like he's still going to be a player, at the Open. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like you said, he hasn't won since 2019. It's only a 6-1. I mean, there was a time, I think it was either last year or the year before, when, his tour card was in question.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's big when that's your livelihood. Now, of course, Rickie always had the sponsors. He was still part of that popular crowd with Justin and Bubba and all those guys.
Yeah.
Remember the music video they put out together?
Oh, yeah.
He's
came right back out to life.
Yeah, he's always been relevant. And I think that helped him with the sponsorships and things of that nature. But to be able to get that win, secure the sponsorships again, and to move on, it's just a weight off your shoulder. And I think that's when you'll start to see even better golf out of him, because he doesn't feel that kind of pressure. I mean, shout out to him. His back was against the wall. Tour card was in jeopardy, and he came out and did what he needed to do, made the changes he needed to make. And like you said, not only did he win this tournament, but he's played spectacular in the tournaments leading up, and has had a great 2023 season. So it's good to see Rickie back. Obviously one of the golfers that I used to follow back when I was in it. So it's good to see those boys back up on top.
Do you think maybe that's what caused so much of the vitriol too when it came to the Live and PGA split, is that so many of these guys were really tight with each other? You look like a Bubba Watson that was always with that group, or you look like, a guy like, Koepka maybe, you see him still playing practice rounds with Rory, their first time back at the Masters, so, they probably had some kind of a relationship, based off of that as well too. Do you think that maybe those relationships are what also caused the break to be so tough at that time?
I don't think so. I think what you see, on the media standpoint and from everything, and versus the surface level versus what's actually happening behind the scenes, are probably two different things. It's one of those things where I can be your friend, at my house behind closed doors, but I can't be seen with you publicly type things. and that doesn't really sound like a whole lot of friendship, but unfortunately that's where we're at, and with cancel culture and things of that nature. And, I think that that's pretty much where that was. And I think it's kind of still where it is, except for it's now that the merger's happening, things are going to be kind of coming down. But speaking of Live, I did flip over to a little bit of Live Sunday. And I have to tell you, man, I don't know. Like, Brooks Koepka's on the first tee, dude, and there's a DJ just blaring music. This is the first. Yeah. And I'm just like,
you're like,
I was the first one. I can't remember which one we talked about, the last tournament or whatever, and how Liv had the and I was like, the music, and I'm like, it's kind of a cool vibe. And I'm like, they're over there, and they're like, and now on the first. I felt like I was like in a NBA game or something like that.
Yeah, it was like Jock Jams 1998.
Yeah, I don't know,
now
man.
Starting for your Chicago Bulls.
I'm gonna let that one.
What?
I
You
don't
didn't like that. It was a shout out to you.
Most iconic intro in sports history, right there. The intro to the Chicago Bulls. I don't know, man. This one kind of got me. I mean, it was full on rap music, and I'm not saying anything against rap music. Obviously, I have a company that produces such material. It just didn't seem like it fit. Not only did it not seem like it fit with the course, it didn't fit with the people. And, I don't know, man. I don't know. Liv's doing its own thing. That one got me. This week got me. Because you're flipping over from the Rocket Mortgage, which, can I also just say, the television coverage of this was absolutely asinine.
I couldn't find it. I gave up.
Not only could you not find it, I didn't see anywhere where there was announcements. There could have been something maybe there was on the official PGA Tour page. I didn't see it. There should have been something saying, hey, I didn't even know why. Like, I put it out there. I'm like, why is this done so early? Like, it's only 2:00 and this tournament's over. Usually it's just getting going. Of course, there was rain and stuff. I missed all of that. I had started the morning on ESPN Plus. They had the feature coverage, but they didn't have main coverage. Then I found it on the Peacock app. Okay, so then I had stuff going on the Peacock app, and then the Peacock app dropped out, and then it went over to CBS Sports app because it wasn't on. And then during that time as well, the Golf Channel started showing the coverage from hole 3. And I'm like, what is actually happening right now? I mean, 4 different channels this thing was on at 4 different times. I don't know, man. We're getting ready to cut the cable this month. Actually,
I gave up. I was like, I'm done. just I'll get the updates on it. I don't care.
It wasn't really. Yeah, it wasn't really the big one. But Jeremy did say that PJ had it on their Twitter, but that was all. But I don't know, man. This whole streaming thing to me, it's getting way out of hand. It's getting way out of hand to where you have to look for to find stuff. And as you were saying, you don't have cable. I'm cutting the cord as well, which that's a whole nother thing. So I call Spectrum to cancel my service, right? I'm paying like $176 for just my TV and everything. And I'm like, I want to cancel this. So I'm nice, right? I go through the whole thing. I'm listening. Of course, they're trying to sell me every different. Oh, we can lower your price for this. We could. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. You know, we're driving on my way to my my wife's grandmother's nursing home, so I had like an hour to kill. So, you know, after about like 30 minutes on this phone call, she's like, okay, so I'll go ahead and look. I'm going to go and cancel this for you. I said, great, thank you so much. And she goes, well, just to let you know, you know, it is July 1st or whatever the date was. And I see here, I can cancel it now, but you're going to be billed for the entire month. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. She goes, so if I cancel it right now, you're going to get charged for the entire month, but we're going to turn off your programming immediately. I'm like, well, that's interesting. I said, so you know what? That's fine. I go, just cancel it on the date for me, the July 23rd or whatever. And she goes, yeah, we can't do that. You're going to need to call back. And I'm like, what? I go, so you're telling me this whole 30 minutes that I've been on the phone with you the entire time has all been for naught, and you won't cancel it for me on this date? She's like, no. I'm like, have a great day. Click. So I told my wife, I go, put it in the phone. July 23rd, I'm calling. And when I call back to you, Spectrum, this time it's not going to be Mr. Nice Guy. I'm still going to be nice to the person that gets on there, but I ain't listening to shit. Just cancel my shit. I've already listened to it. I mean, but that's how they get you, right? Because how many people forget and don't call back? Or if they do, they just cancel it right then and there. You guys, yeah. I tell you, it's a scam. But yes, the television coverage and trying to find it. So without Spectrum and without cable, you know, I'm going to be in shambles here for a while until I get everything kind of locked in a little bit. But we'll see how that works.
Well, I just got to figure out what's going on with football this year, you know?
YouTube TV, baby.
Yeah, but how, like, so bars are still going to have DirecTV, right? They'll still have a ticket.
I don't know how that works. I guarantee it. There's a way that they're going to have a commercial package for them. I don't know how that's going to work, though, and especially if you don't have like an infrastructure like an ale house where you can actually have a feed come in, a matrix system to where you can divide it amongst all of the TVs. It's going to be very, very interesting. And bars, if you're listening out there, which I know a lot of the bars listen to the show for all of the, you know, if you're listening now, you need to get on it now because you might have to retrofit your system to be able to handle this. I think it's going
to have to get smart TVs and stuff, which is crazy.
Well, even then, like some of the smart TVs, so like depending on what memory they have and downloaded, and when you click the button, like, so I started moving my F1, which we're going to talk about F1 here in a minute, because I remember that I have F1 TV, so I can see all the drivers' views. I can watch any replay without commercials. You know, just I can watch it live without commercials, so I don't need a DVR. But I was watching on my cable, right? And so I was watching the cable, but the cable was so far ahead of the app. So I had to pause it and then like hit 3 remotes at the same time to try to get it to sync up. And I think that you're gonna see a lot of that happen with lags, the TVs that are further away. I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy. Jeremy's just typing something here. The agreement, which kicks in for the 2023 season, gives DirecTV the ability to use its network of satellites to connect sports bars, casinos, restaurants, and hotels throughout the U.S. with Sunday Ticket, just as it has in the previous years. Said the people. Who's the people, bro? Judge Jeffrey. So maybe they'll have like just like you did like for Amazon, right? Maybe they'll have the same type of like a channel on there.
Yeah, I saw something where they're gonna have a red zone channel, but the person on the new red zone channel is the people said it was gonna have a red zone channel, and that Hanson was gonna be the guy running the red zone channel. It's not the old red zone channel that you're used to. That's no longer going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
From what I understood, it was no longer going to be a thing.
There's still going to be NFL Red Zone.
But I don't think it's going to be supported through the NFL Network through your Spectrum package, no?
Yes, it is. It's still going to be a ticket as far as your sports package, as far as the cable, and it also will be available on YouTube TV as well. And you can buy it as a standalone, I believe, as well.
Then what did I see that he was becoming a part of? I'll research this real quick, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me look at it real quick, because I saw something about how he was switching to a different red zone. Anyway,
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so make sure that it'd be very, very interesting to see what happens. And we're only a couple months away. And you know, I did get
doing our NFL breakdowns here
pretty soon. I did get the email as far as my Bucks Insider, as far as going to the practices at the. And you know, I told you I was going to New York, right, for a stock thing at the end of July, right? So when do you think my exclusive date for my practice rights is?
You're not in town.
No, I'm in New York.
I asked JC. I saw JC the other day, and I asked him if he was going because Jeremy was like, "Oh, maybe we make JC our little like Bucks correspondent over there." And I asked JC, I was like, "Oh, so you going practices and stuff?" He goes, "I already sold all my practices. I've already sold the Monday Night Football game. I've already sold this as well too." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because Monday Night Football is not worth it to drive over there." He goes, "And the practices, they're way too hot. I'm not going over there to sit in the sun and be miserable for that long." So,
well, first, yeah, we haven't got our practice tickets yet, so I'm sure he already has somebody lined up. But yes, the August 1st one is the indoor practice, and it's exclusive only to club members. So, yeah, and I'm gone. Not happy.
So,
not happy at all.
What it is, and this came out 6 days ago, is that there used to be two different red zones, right? You had two different red zones. You had the one that was through DirecTV that they had through that, and then you had the other one that was the Scott Hansen one. Basically,
I never watched the other one.
They're merging together, is what it is. So they're now only going to have the one red zone, and it's going to be streamlined through every single platform, basically.
Gotcha.
So I knew it was something like that. I just couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, no, I've never watched the DirecTV one. I've never subscribed to that one as well. It always came on the other one, so but it is part of my YouTube TV one, which if you didn't get it, they were offering $100 off for the package. It's not that bad. I think it was only like $250 for the whole year. Easy peasy.
I feel like I have local television, so the most Bucks games I'm just gonna watch locally, and then I'll have Red Zone. So if I want to, I'll just flip over to Red Zone to see it.
Correct. If your primary team is based in the area that you live, it's very, very convenient to watch all of the games. So we did have some free agency heating up in the NBA this week. We got some crazy signings, in my opinion. Crazy money being thrown around. The NBA, wow. Young men, women. I mean, whew.
What was the most egregious signing for you that you saw?
I don't know if it's again, you know, kind of like I was talking to Paul. I don't know if it's egregious, but I saw the Fred VanVleet signing at, I think it was 3 years at $50 million a year. And I'm not talking about egregious as the fact of the market share, whatever these guys make. I know that they all make great money, and it is what it is. It's part of their market share and all of that good stuff. I'm just saying it just blows my mind at the salaries that professional athletes get paid. That's all. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm not saying they don't deserve a split of the revenue share. But to get paid $50 million for one season to play a sport is absolutely crazy to me. It's just absolutely crazy to me. And, you know, the worst part is I pay for it. And I know we've thought about this numerous times, but, you know, by buying a cable package, by buying the NBA package, by buying merchandise, by going to games and paying some of the outrageous ticket prices that some of these places, I mean, we're the ones directly supporting it. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is at that point. I mean, I'm not going over here beating my head against the wall saying, why don't I make $50 million a year? I'm not that. I'm just saying it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me that these guys get paid $50 million. And I know that he's not even at the top, right? I mean,
no, not at all. Like Damian. So here was the thing, and this was the other issue that, you know, we got into a little bit as well too, was that So Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal came out and basically committed and said, listen, we're going to sign these super max deals because we want to be the most loyal players that there are. We want to stick with these franchises. In reality, the only place that they can sign those super maxes are with those teams.
Correct.
Right? So you re-up with those teams and the Trailblazers and the Washington Wizards, and you get the bag. You've secured your money. You've secured your $60-something million that you have for the next 4 or 5 years, and boom, you're good to go. Well, then, so once you sign those, you're not eligible to be traded until a year after you sign that deal. So what happened? They played their year out, and then as soon as that's over, their money's already guaranteed. Now, hey, listen, I think I want out. And you go to somebody, you plan a story in the media, you say you want out. You said you were loyal a year ago. Things changed. I don't know if anything actually changed, but whatever. You want out. You want to go to a contender. Boom. Bradley Beal gets traded over to the Phoenix Suns. Now you're looking at Damian Lillard. And listen, I love what the Blazers have done here in terms of the Blazers have a really good young team already. They have a lot of good young guards, and they're going to be okay. And I think that the fact that they have now come out and said, we know that Dame wants to go to Miami. We don't care. Listen, I really,
finally,
they've said, you know what? That's fine. Miami's fine. The centerpiece of that trade is going to be Tyler Hero. And you know what? We really don't want to pay Tyler Hero $120 million over the next 4 years. So you got to get another team involved if you want to make that happen. And they've also said, any team that wants to give us the best package that they possibly can, we will be more than happy to listen to offers on.
And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
The team invested in you, the player. Okay, so whatever, you got your supermax contract. Now you're banging on the door with your no trade clause, saying I want out of here, things of that nature. Then either A, you don't play, and does the team have to pay you if you sit out? No, right?
That would get down to
guarantee
NBA Players Association.
That's what I'm saying. So that is one thing that we have not seen, or at least I haven't seen, or I can't recall in the NBA. Is you see it in the NFL a lot, people holding out and not playing for contracts. I haven't seen it a whole lot in the NBA. But to your point exactly, the team should get everything back that they feel that they want, and if it's not enough, then don't trade them. We get into this thing where you got these unhappy superstars and things of that, and putting pressure, and then putting pressure on social media. Then it turns the fans against each other, and then the fans are like, just get rid of them. I'm glad that the ownership actually right now is taking a stand, saying, no, we paid you because you said you want to stay here. Now, on the same token, are they involving, and this is another thing that we have to talk about, the plans, and when somebody signs these Supermax contracts, they want to be involved in all of the player decisions. Well, you signed this player, but I didn't approve that. I don't think I'll work well with that player, so now I want out. That's another thing as well. The more control that you give to the players, the harder it is that you're going to be able to put a team on the floor that can contend week in and week out, season in, season out. That's just the way it's going to go. The more power you give them, the less control you're going to have, and the less likely that you're going to be able to put together a team that actually works. I've said it.
Your question about that too. What you were saying about a player wanting out, but having to go. There was always, remember what James Harden did in Houston?
He did.
He came in super overweight and was like super disruptive in practice, and was just trying to be the most arrogant, ignorant, that he could. And they sent him home, until they could figure out somebody to trade him to. So there's precedent for these guys to be able to pull these moves, and
that's why I was really surprised when there was mention of him going back to the Rockets. Right? I was like,
no, he's not going back to the Rockets. Not with Van Fleet there now.
Correct.
That's not happening.
But I'm saying those talks came out is what I was trying to say, and I was just like, why would the Rockets ever want to bring him back in? And that should be something that not only the Rockets, but the rest of the NBA should take notice of. If he doesn't feel that everything revolves around him, and I don't know exactly what the reasonings were, but the bottom line is he was under contract and just decided he didn't want to play and became a cancer in that locker room and on the team. So, regardless of what his talents is, and, we've seen a little bit of it in Philadelphia as well, why would anybody want to bring him onto the team? If it's not an exact fit, he's not perfectly happy, he's not going to work. I think that we've shown that throughout, regardless of how good that player is. Where has it worked? Where has it worked where James Harden has come in and, you know what, elevated the team and took them to the next level and did everything that he was supposed to do? If there was ever a time that even more so, it was last year when he just completely vanished in the playoffs. Why would anybody want to bring on that contract? I don't understand that. It's like regurgitating head coaches, right, that continue to get fired, and you just keep hiring them back.
It was interesting. Like, we thought he was going to be a free agent. He opts back into his contract in Philly. Now Philly's kind of trying to shop him and see where he can go. I think at the end of the day, he might just end up back in Philly. I don't know if you're going to get takers for him to go somewhere. Maybe you get like a mid-season trade on something like that. But I don't see that happening. And I think Philly loves Tyrese Maxey. I love Tyrese Maxey. I think you commit to that guy over anything else. But it's interesting to see now, right? Like, Westbrook just re-signed for what? It was like 2 years and $8 million. He's getting $4 million a year to go back to the Clippers. And I think when you talk about NBA signings, I think that was a great move for them. The way that he played.
That's a steal.
With PG and Kawhi around him, where he doesn't have to be offensive at all. All he has to do is go rebound, push the ball. You know, he's going to get 10 points in transition every single night by layups anyway. Just let him rebound, let him outlet the ball, let him push the tempo. Great signing for LA as well.
Please tell me that there's incentives in that contract where he can make more than $4 million a year.
I don't believe so. I think he just wants to be in LA. He's made all a bunch of money in his life, and he just, you know, whatever.
I mean, we all know he's at the tail end of his career, but that's a little bit of the discrepancy, right? So just put those two together. Put Van Vliet next to Westbrook. Now, obviously, there are two different spectrums as far as their careers are going. But is there really $46 million in between those guys for a season of performance?
I mean, the Rockets seem to think so, and they've had they had Russell Westbrook, and now they have Fred VanVleet. I love Fred VanVleet's game, and I think going to an organization like Houston that's really trying to transition over, they have a lot of young talent. You bring in a guy like Dylan Brooks. I know me and Chad got into this heated debate, not really heated debate about it, but we were going a little back and forth on it. I think the Dylan Brooks signing is great for them. Ime Udoka is going to set a culture there. He wants nitty-gritty guys who are going to go in. Before, when Silas was there, it was just all over the place. You know, you had the inmates running the asylum pretty much. There was no respect for their head coach. They didn't care about what was going on. Even John Wall, you know, I don't know if you remember this, John Wall came out and said that any other organization, those guys would not be on the roster anymore with the things they're getting away with right now. And then, of course, the Clippers trade him right back to the Rockets a week after he makes those comments. Just this league, amazing stuff. But that being said, I do love the Van Fleet pickup. I do love Udoka. I like Brooks there. Supposedly they had a deal with Lopez to be their center, and at the they agreed in principle to a deal, and then Lopez at the last minute decided to go back to Milwaukee. So very interesting as well too. I know you
good move by Lopez.
So Vooch re-signs with the Bulls as well too. 3 years, $60 million. To me, it's a steal. For a guy who's going to be a good center, you know, a guy who can grab 20 rebounds a game, a guy who can pour in 30 points a game, who can be your centerpiece, who's a good passer, who's had a great career in the NBA as well, too. You're talking about a guy who's not going to even be in the top 10 of paid centers in the league, and you're able to get him at a pretty good deal. I don't know. I like the deal. You hate it. You're a Bulls fan, though, so, you know, go ahead. I'll give you the floor.
Let's just say I don't hate it, right? Well, actually, yeah, I do. I hate it. And it's the same thing as Zach LaVine, which hopefully they get rid of in the offseason as well, with his Supermax contract. You know, first of all, the team didn't work last year. That's my biggest thing. This team did not work, and so what do? We re-sign everybody. We're gonna put the same team back on the court again. We got Colby White back again. We re-signed him, which I do like that signing. But I mean, we got the same starting five again. What's going to change this year versus last year? And, you know, Vukovic, you know, we gave up a lot to get him. Obviously, we all know. And, you know, as you reminded me once again at the NBA draft here not too long ago, and it just hasn't lived up to the expectations. And to your point, okay, yes, he's a mid-tier center. Let's just say that. He's a mid-tier center who's getting paid as a mid-tier center. I would assume so. I don't know what the market is for centers these days, but if somebody at the top of is getting 60 and he's getting a 30.
Would you rather have Nick Vucevic or Rudy Gobert?
I'd rather have Brook Lopez. And you know, that's who we talked about. And I would have rather, if he got paid $25 million from Milwaukee, than pay him 30. because what we saw out of Brook Lopez throughout the playoffs last year and in the regular season was that he is an outstanding center. He played great defense. He was great with the three-point shot. He was all over the court, and he hustled. And, I know that Brooks had a lot of up and downs in his career, and this could be something where he comes back next year and doesn't get that same level of performance. But we all know in contract years, for some reason, players just simply do perform during contract years. Weird, right? So I don't know what we're going to see out of that, moving in next year, but I would have liked to see them get Brook Lopez. But let's be honest here. The Bulls are not competing with anybody. We're not competing with Boston, who just got Porzingis, right? Miami's not done with the moves that they're going to make.
Porzingis is so weird, dude. I think it's a terrible move, but
we'll see. It gives them a bigger presence. I thought Williams had I thought if maybe a little bit more development out of Williams could have filled that role at a much cheaper rate. You did get rid of Marcus Smart, who was the heart and soul of that locker room. I think that's going to be a very challenging thing. And one of the best takes that I think I saw on it is, the Boston Celtics were very, very close, right? They had a stretch where they just kind of dropped the ball there, but they're very, very close to competing for an NBA championship. And to take the heart and soul out of your locker room in order to bring in a Porzingis to try to get that. Now, as you say, when we're talking about trades in our fantasy, what is the impact or what am I getting versus the guy that I had? And I think as far as, the team synergy goes, and you saw, on his IG and all that, it said Forever City, and all the boys were like, hey, till we meet again, things of that nature. The guy really just loved to be there. But for whatever reason, Brad Stevens said, you know what, he's expendable. Brought in Porzingis. Again, though, I don't think with this starting five, you're going to put the same starting five out there that you just got, waxed with last year. I mean, your ball's out once again for the entire season next season, which that's been the complete bust from the Chicago Bulls. Thank you, Big Baller Brand. I don't think that kid's ever going to play again. It's time to move on from him. I don't know what exactly happens with these contracts. I know that we did get a little bit of a reprieve off of his contract versus the cap.
They've applied for a $10.8 million exception for the salary cap this year. So we'll see what happens.
But, to me, that's just the same thing as we talked about as far as the NFL. Somebody goes on the IL and is not able to play, that contract and that salary should come off the cap for that year and allow the team to sign somebody else. That shouldn't count towards the salary cap. So the dude's out for the entire year, but yet you have to carry his money as a salary cap casualty into the next year. I think that that's something that should be reworked. It's not like you're circumventing the cap. It would have to be somebody that you bring on a one-year deal, or even if somebody that has a contract remaining, then when he comes back off either, that money's there and it's all hitting, then you need to get creative as a front office. But I don't understand. Andre Drummond obviously picks up his player option because why wouldn't you? It's not like, people are banging down the door to sign Andre Drummond. I don't know. I just think you didn't win. You had terrible synergy as a team last year, and you're going to put the same starting five back out there and say, well, this year is going to be different. Okay. Thanks.
I mean, but I will say that they played a lot better toward the end of the year. Like they
did they win?
No. But you can see where they could say, listen, we think we made a little bit of growth. Maybe we run it back and see what happens. Pretty much what the Magic are doing right now as well, too. It's pretty much saying run it back.
You had a losing record, and the only reason why you got into the playoffs is because of a play-in game. Give me a break. They're trash.
Anyway, I think that there's been some interesting moves in the NBA. Obviously, a lot more to come, a lot more drama. The NBA is just constantly filled with drama, it seems like.
I wish it would go away. I
do love – you mentioned the Marcus Smart thing. I feel like Memphis got a little bit better. Like, they got Marcus Smart. They got rid of Dylan Brooks. You get a better shooter, a way better defender as well, too, for a swap out on basically similar contracts. So, shout out to Memphis. If Ja can come back after the 25 games that they have as well, he got from the NBA.
We all know that there's no better shooter on the Memphis than Ja.
Shots fired by Tristan Thomas.
Jeremy, you got to get on your producer thing here, bro. Like, I left that open for so long for that to come in there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish the NBA would go away for a while. I love how the NFL spaced it out, and like the NFL is constantly on your mind with free agency, with the draft. NBA is trying to do the same thing, which it is good, but I feel like I need a break from the NBA wears me out. Maybe it's because my team sucks. I don't know, but the NBA wears me out with their load management bullshit and people that don't play and it just wears me out. They don't, I think the biggest thing is they don't give a shit until the playoffs. So I don't give a shit until the playoffs. And when the playoffs are over, I don't give a shit again. Boom. There it is. That's the attitude that the players have. That's the attitude that I have as now the casual fan of the NBA.
Jeremy did mention the Lakers, and they I feel like Austin Reeves took a little bit of a home team discount to be there. They do re-sign Rui Hachimura as well too, that goes there, and then you had a guy like Gabe Vincent from the Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat, who was an integral part of that team. Just instant offense off the bench, good 3-point shooter, can handle the ball a little bit as well too.
Hachimura played great last year.
Also, D'Angelo Russell goes back to the Lakers as well, so they're kind of running it back as they were too. I don't know. I would have liked to see a shake up there maybe. But listen, LeBron wants what LeBron wants. If he wants to run back, you run it back and you see what happens.
Yeah, keep letting LeBron build teams. Worked well so far.
He does a lot better than Michael Jordan does building teams, I'll tell you that.
Give me a break.
Proof's in the pudding, sir.
How so?
What do you mean?
How so?
I mean, most of the teams that LeBron has built, they've won championships.
Really?
Jordan. Every team that Jordan's built on the Charlotte Bobcats or the whatever the Hornets, Bobcat, whatever you want to call them, they've been pretty bad.
Yeah,
honestly,
I'd agree with that.
Terrible picks, really bad front office moves.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would also agree that LeBron has made equally just as bad moves.
Like what?
Is the Lakers last year anything less than a complete embarrassment and disappointment?
No.
Oh, I guess we're just okay. We're happy.
So only if they win the NBA championship, it's not an embarrassment.
Do you think Michael Jordan played for anything other than a championship? Do you think LeBron's playing? LeBron has came out and said, "I don't care about anything other than winning a ring. That's it." So yes, anything less than a ring is a disappointment.
You asked me what my opinion was if the Lakers
and how many times has the team that LeBron built at the beginning of the season is the one that is there halfway through the season? I'll give you half. I'm not even going to go the full season. I'm not even going to go the full season. I'm going to go half of a season.
Gotta make tweaks.
Yeah.
Gotta make tweaks.
Yeah.
He likes to tweak. You got to get the right personnel in there. Make sure the vibe is good. Got to give it to LeBron. Anyway, we'll move on with NBA.
I know you're getting fired up already. Shit to LeBron. I did say. Did you see? We really didn't talk about this a while ago. But did you see the riff that he had with the Denver Nuggets coach,
Mike Malone?
Yeah, I guess Mike Malone made a little comment during the parade or the speech that said, I'm thinking about retiring or whatever. Never mind. No, I'm not. And then LeBron put out the little message. I see that I be staying on your mind. I'm over here relaxing in the Mythinos or something like that. Keep thinking about me.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Malone, I don't know. He was kind of like that the entire year, the entire playoffs, like very confrontational with people. I don't know.
I don't know. If you win 4-0 and sweep them, talk your shit. Well, and he was upset that was the narrative, right? that was the narrative after the 4-0 sweep. The media, and it wasn't necessarily with LeBron, it was with the media, right? And the media not giving the Denver Nuggets their flowers for sweeping said Lakers, but it was all about LeBron's retirement. There was no mention of how well that they played or anything of that nature. I think that was more of the riff that was going on there versus, just coming straight at LeBron and saying that he attacked them. But that's just me. So, speaking of someone else I talk shit about, we had a little F1 race in Austria this weekend.
Speaking of another douchebag.
Yeah, speaking of another douchebag. Max Verstappen once again just completely dominated the F1 race this weekend. Start to finish, everything. There was a little drama, but we're not going to get into that just at the moment. The biggest thing, the biggest story of this was track limits. Throughout the sprint, throughout qualifying, numerous drivers getting their lap times deleted. There was numerous 5-second penalties. Checo actually had the black and white flag. Max Verstappen didn't get one warning that we saw in regards to track limits and completely just annihilated everyone. Then you had Lewis Hamilton on the radio complaining about his car, saying that he couldn't keep his car within the track limits because the brakes just didn't work, to which I thought was a great response from Toto, which Toto, if you know, is the owner and the principal of Mercedes, who very rarely gets on the mic during the... And he came out and said, Lewis, we know the car's crap, just drive. That was awesome, dude. To have them come out like, just shut up. Quit complaining. We know it. Whatever. What do you want us to do? You want us to tear apart the car right now? Just drive. And, Checo. Checo was the big story here for Red Bull, who started 15th. I do believe, yep. Started 15th, and if you remember from the last show, I talked about how Checo, I felt, was on the hot seat here, just underperforming with this Red Bull car, and, yes, he is in second place. However, he was dropping fast. He hadn't made it to Q3 in any of the past 2 races, including this one. He comes out in the Sprint Cup, though, and takes second place, which... right along Max Verstappen, which is where he should be. But he did start 15th here. He did have some great moves and coming up. And as I've talked about before, when Checo usually starts at the back of the pack, he does not make his way through the field very quickly or very easily versus Max Verstappen, who we saw in Miami started in 12th, was in first place within 20 laps. Now, we did see Checo come through. He made some pretty boneheaded mistakes, though, when it was coming through. And we're talking about DRS. And he continued to try to pass Charles Leclerc to get into third place. I'm sorry, Carlos Sainz into third place, but he kept passing him right in front of the DRS zone. So he would go through the DRS first and allow Carlos Sainz to have the DRS, which is if you saw Max Verstappen, when he passed Charles Leclerc, he made sure that while he was getting ready to pass on the inside, he stayed behind him so that he had the DRS coming out of the turn and was easily passed. But shout out to Checo Perez. Hopefully you got the monkey off your back. This was a great race by you. Continue to push through. He did finish third on the podium. It was a Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull podium this weekend. Again, complete dominance by Max, and there was a little drama at the end, which I know we talked a little bit about this morning, which you kind of felt my views. Max Verstappen was coming up he was leading 23 seconds going into the last lap of the race, or the second to last lap of the race. Now, for those of you who don't know, an F1 normal pit stop usually takes about 20 to 21 seconds, right? He has a 23-second lead. He comes on the comm, and he says, who has the fastest lap? And what's the time? To which Red Bull comes back and says, Checo has the fastest lap. We're not interested in that. To which Max Verstappen comes back and says, I'm coming into pit. Now, for those of you, again, that a 20-second, that's a perfect pit stop that you're talking about. A 2.5-second pit stop, you're coming in and out. It's going to cost you about 20 seconds. So if everything goes perfectly, he's coming out with like a 2.5 to 3-second lead. If everything goes perfectly, that's a risk you just don't want to take when you're going to win the race no matter what. Max says, you know what? I'm Max Verstappen. You're Red Bull. We got this pit stop. No big deal. Comes in, pops in, puts the softs on, blazes out, comes out with a 2.5-second lead, and then proceeds to not only set the fastest lap, but increase his lead by 2 seconds in a lap and a half to win the race. I know Checo wasn't really happy with it. I know Red Bull team wasn't really, thrilled with it, because all they basically did is, they moved the 1 point over, because they already had the 1 point with Checo on the team. He just basically came in and said, you know what? I'm Max Verstappen. I'm going to do this anyway. Kind of a douchebag move, but to put all of that to put all of that at risk just to get 1 point when you're already just so far ahead, I don't know, man. This is what makes Max Verstappen the evil empire of the F1. He is the Lord Vader that continues to just do shit.
Red. Yeah, Skywalker. Who was in second?
Charles Leclerc took second place.
So I would have loved to have heard the comms from his team as Max decides to pit, and Ferrari is like, hold on, he's pitting. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, go. Like, that would have been fun to have heard as well too.
It's funny that you say that, because actually with the F1 TV subscription that I have, you can actually listen to the comms. And I never even thought about switching over to listen to see what they were going to say.
I would love to know what Ferrari was going through at that moment, seeing Max pit and be like, oh, like, wait a minute.
It's actually really cool, man, because I listened to Checo's the entire race, and just listening to them come into this. All right, this is what position you're at. This is our strategy, and it's just over and over all day long. This is what the person in front of your lap time is. This is what you got to go. Probably one of the better ones was right before Checo went to pit. Max had already went into pit, and they was coming in for the last pit of the race. They're like, "Okay, Checo, we're pitting after this after this lap. It's full out, push everything." Because there's a lot of talk of tire conservation, all of that. And when they just let him rip, dude, that's when I do believe he set the fastest lap time. It's pretty cool, the communications. You do get a little bit of it on ESPN or the main feed of F1, but to be able to listen to a communication from a driver's perspective for the entire race is pretty cool. I would highly recommend that you check it out. But yeah, it was a great performance. Haas, to me, is one of the teams that you just love to root for. It's an American team. Gunther, one of the best guys in the business, but they just continue to disappoint for me. And as somebody that has drafted Nico Hulkenberg on his F1 fantasy team for multiple weeks in a row, it seems to me that Haas just comes out, and they're great to start the race. The first 10, 15 laps, they're doing great. And then all of a sudden, something falls off, whether it's the performance of the engine, whether it's their ability to monitor or to monitor their tires. I don't know what it is, but they just completely fall off. And, it's to the point where now I'm pretty much done with them. Nico actually blew his engine on this one and finished in dead last. And Kevin Magnussen finished 18th. You're pretty much bringing up the rear here. And keep in mind, these are Ferrari engines, which, obviously we all know what a Ferrari engine can do. But these are Ferrari engines, which always just kind of, baffles my mind that, a lot of these teams all have the same engines. But, it's kind of like my cousin said, yeah, they gave them the Ferrari engine, but they don't give them the roadmap of how to use it. You have to figure that out yourself, to where you can push to get the power out. But it was actually a really entertaining race this week. So,
how's the Ryan Reynolds team doing?
That is the Alpine. They're hit and miss. Let's see here on this. Was this one? Yeah, on this one we had Alpine at Pierre Gasly in 10th, and then we had Esteban Ocon at 14th, which 10th gets you in the points. So, that's pretty much all that they're, trying to do at this point. It's pretty much it's Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, right? And then it's actually this year it's Red Bull, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes, and then everyone else is kind of trying to figure that out. So if you think about what I just said, so you had Red Bull, Aston Martin, Mercedes, and Ferrari. That's 4, right? So that's 8. So really those guys are competing for the 9th and 10th spot. Which McLaren came in this week and had some really nice changes. Lando Norris finished in 4th this week, which if you remember, McLaren started this year out pretty much dead last of every single race. So they made some nice changes to be able to come up and be relevant again. So we're looking forward to see what Lance Stroll and Lando and the boys over there at McLaren can finish up with, because that has been absolutely just a disastrous season so far for McLaren, and one that they definitely should not be doing. We do have Silverstone coming up next, and it is this weekend. For those of you who know, Silverstone is in England. Oh, cheerio. We're going to be having some pie over there, over the pond.
Lewis Hamilton.
This is Lewis Hamilton's race. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some little past.
I think Lewis Hamilton.
So last year we have Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, and then Lewis Hamilton was in 3rd. Max Verstappen finished in 7th. Woo, I can't remember what happened there.
And then the year before that, I think Lewis won.
Well, Lewis had a year.
4 in a row or 5 in a row here or something like that.
Yeah, he's an 8-time champion. So, yeah, he had Lewis Hamilton did win in 2021. Yes. Yeah. And, Max Verstappen, it appears, crashed because he was out in 1 lap. So, we'll see. No, this was 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. So, Silverstone's always a good turnout for F1 over there across the pond. That is probably one that I will end up going to. We're really we're honing in on Monaco next year. I think we're going to do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see we'll see if we win the Circa Millions in football this year.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. When are you going out to Vegas to put us in that?
It's like the week of college football starting. That week, I believe.
Okay. So Labor Day?
I think it's like the first week of September. Okay. Right? Last week of August, somewhere around there.
Like Florida State plays LSU the night before Labor Day.
I remember he went last year, and he went the weekend of, it was opening week, the Gators. It was that Saturday that he went, like Thursday, Friday.
Who, Jeff?
Yeah. The guy that I go with to serve as my liaison. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's a good season. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to a little football. I'm ready for a change of pace here.
You losing some weight, bro?
I am. I just got on the scale today. I'm down 13 pounds.
You look skinnier.
Thank you. I stopped eating.
You look good. Well, maybe not do that. Like mix in some hummus and some,
Nah, I've been doing good. My biggest thing is I have the late night munchies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, bro, the sweets, man, the sugars, they just.
Yeah, so I don't eat past 8:00 at the latest. So yeah, and I've been doing about 3 miles every day with the dogs, back in the gym. A lot of good stuff happening here. I got to make some changes. Got to make some changes.
Do want to give a big shout out. Of course, you were talking about Haas being America's team, and of course, tomorrow is America's holiday that we have on the 4th of July. We just want everybody to first and foremost have an amazing time out there. Right? Go out, eat some hamburgers, drink a little bit too much beer, enjoy the company of the people around you. Keep in mind that a lot of people died for this day to be able to happen as well too, and for the independence that we so love to have in our country. And that we share, and that allows people to have different points of view and everything like that as well, that we always respect. But most importantly, please be safe. Okay.
Do you think that they schedule the British Grand Prix on 4th of July week as? No. Do you think that's on purpose?
But I just wanted to say that we've all seen Jason Pierre-Paul. We all probably have a friend or an uncle or something like that who has made a mistake somewhere. And please be careful with your fireworks.
And not only that, we've seen everything that's been going on in Canada. If you're in a dry spell in a dry area, keep a hose out there, keep ready to go. Let's not burn down Florida this week, right?
Yes. Can we please just responsibly and respectfully.
I haven't shot off fireworks in forever, man. I remember when I was over at Nick's, we used to get like a couple grand worth of those big bombshells, dude.
Yeah. So I think they're going back to the Ritz tomorrow. I got to work, unfortunately, but I think they're going back to the Ritz. Ritz does an incredible job with the fireworks out there. Whatever, bro. That resort is just amazing. To be able to go out the JW with the slides, I wouldn't know. The lazy river, the pool, the Ritz right there. You've been out there, bro.
I'm not rich, so I couldn't tell you.
Anyway, Ritz is always a great time. Definitely go.
Cameron won't even stay in focus. That's how poor I am.
Having trouble. But yeah, that's all I got.
Well, to his point, happy birthday, America. Screw you, you British, whatevers. 1776.
We love y'all.
Let's ride. GW in the house. Everybody have a great 4th of July. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Be great.
Ooh, that's going to be a little tough. A little hangover Wednesday after.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Are the boys going to be okay?
Boys will be fine.
Right.
This is not amateur hour at the Apollo. Okay. 4th of July, you probably eat more food than what you normally do on a night out and a little bender.
Is Chad working tomorrow night?
Chad works every Tuesday night.
Oh, then we're okay. Okay. I was just worried if he was off. If he was off, we were in trouble.
No, Paul goes out every Tuesday night and shuts it down. So they roll in, at 11:30.
Coming in hot.
Yeah. Guess what? You got to warm them up a little bit.
I guess so. All right, everybody. Have a great 4th of July. Stay safe out there. Everybody, enjoy it. Keep playing. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.
Appreciate it.